Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ षष्ठोऽध्यायः आत्मसंयमयोगः. Now we will go to shloka number 24 and 25. 24 and 25 we will read together because they are connected. So shloka number 24 and 25. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvana sheshataha मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामं विनियम्य समन्ततः शनैः शनैरुपरमेत् बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत्. So in the first line, Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman. Kaman we will end, and then the half we will cut and put it as Tyaktva Sarvana Sheshataha. So here he is talking about the Dhyana Swarupam, and 24 and 25 should be read together. So one topic they constantly talk about is Kaman Tyaktva. In the first line we have Kaman Tyaktva. So this has been constantly told in many places. 2.55 Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sita prajnastadochyate. So there he said that this person who is a sita prajna, prajahati, he has left all the desires. He said like that in 2.55. 2.71 he said vihaya kaman yas sarvan Pumamscharati nisprihah nirmamo nirahankarah sashanti madhigacchati. So here it said vihaya kaman yat sarvam pumam. That person has left all the kamas, like that he said. So many places this has been said. 18 to 19 have seen the Dhyana Swarupa. 18 to 19, what did he say? Yada viniyatam chittam atmanyevavatishtate nisprihah Sarva kamebhyaha yukta ityuchyate tada. So that person is focused on the Atma only, he said. When his controlled mind focused Atmanyeva avatishtate, it was just situated in the Atma. So he talked about it in 18. And 19 he said Yata Deepo Nivatastaha Negate Sopama Smrita. That we just saw. So there he said that it does not flicker. So the same things he is talking about, like the Dhyana Swarupam he is talking about here. What are we talking about? We are talking about two things here. In Shloka 24, we are talking about removing our thought from the anatmas or the other external disturbances of the world. And in Shloka number 25, we are talking about putting our thoughts on the thoughts of the Atma. So basically thinking about the qualities of the Atma. And we are trying to remove ourselves from the thoughts of the world. 24 removing, 25 putting it in the thoughts of the Atma. So that will be called the Atma Vritti. Two topics. So 24 we said removing. So at that point what we have is Anatma Vritti, where the thoughts are about external things. It is not about the Atma. So it is Anatma Vritti. Vritti means a wave. So it is a thought wave about other things, any other thing other than the Atma. So when we have that, it is known as the Anatma Vritti. So this Anatma Vritti itself, how it happens, there are some stages that we have seen in so many shlokas. So in 2.62 we said Dhyayato Vishayam Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Bhijayate. So there we said that the first thought is when we see an object, and then our attachment starts building and it starts to develop into the desire. So here also for any desire, first is the darshana, which means seeing the object or hearing about the object. So that will be the first part where we will go somewhere and we will see that object. And then when we see that sari in that shop, first we see it. We don't get any kind of desire or attachment. Then one thought will come. What is the price? So then we will look at that tag. Then that thought will deepen. Then another thought will come. We compare it to the price in India. okay, this is the price here, this is the price in India. Like that thought will come. And then we will say, okay, now this looks cheaper or this is reasonable for this price. Like that, another thought. So every time the thought is deepening into a desire, but we do not notice it. And then, so the first part, we have seen the object. And then the second is a sankalpam, is a thought that will lead to me acquiring that object. That is sankalpa. So this continuously, it will keep deepening until it develops into a desire. So at one point you say, I really like this sari. So at that point, the desire has come. So before that, but all the steps has happened, which we did not notice it. And then the fourth will be the anatma vritti, I need it. So that will be the deepened thought that is there in your mind, I need it. So all this process have happened. So what we have to do is to reverse this anatma vritti. So what to do to reverse anatma vritti is the reverse process. No darshanam. Try to avoid seeing the objects. Try to avoid hearing about these objects. And then do not develop any thoughts related to the object. Don't think about it. Don't research about it. Don't go further. And then, therefore, no desire is created. And then no anatma vritti will be created. That's why they are telling in the initial stages, you have to withdraw. Our natural tendency is to go out, to desire, to see things. So withdraw. Initially, do not go to places where you will culminate this desires. So withdraw and make it into the atma vritti. So that in the next shloka we will see. Sankalpa prabhavan kama. Sankalpa means the thought or the resolve. Prabhavan, born of kama. So this is a thought born of desire. This kind of desire that I want. Previously the resolve is coming. A thought is coming in your mind. Tyaktva. So you have to abandon that sankalpa itself. Then only the desire you can abandon. Because the thought was preceding that desire, the thought of desire itself. So you have to, and sarvan. Also another condition is given, all kinds of desires. Should I not think only about saris and jewelry? No, about everything, like the achievements of your kids, promotions you want to get, the houses, everything. All kinds of desires have to be basically squashed. And then, and also asheshataha, completely. Little bit is there, okay, something is there in my mind, still I'm not buying things, it's okay. But the thought, if you have itself, it will lead to later you having those tendencies. So completely you have to remove it. Manasa, through the mind. Manasa meaning viveka yuktena manasa, they are telling. That means what? Through intelligence, through, if you try to suppress anything, it will come back. But if you use your intelligence and say, this is not really needed, like that kind of intelligence, if it comes and then you quash the thought, then you are not going to feel bad about it. So that way, viveka yuktena, with intelligence, try to do it. Viniyamya, so you have to restrain samantataha, from all the sides. The attack will be there from all the sides. People will try to pull you. There is so much of marketing. Any way you can be swayed. It is not difficult to be swayed. So from all the sides, you should try to restrict yourself and control yourself. So 4.19 also we saw one shloka. Yasya sarve samarambaha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni dagdha karmanam tamahuhu panditam buddhaha. So what did he say there? The person whose action is free from desire, that is whose undertakings are free from desire for material objects, he's burnt all the results of his actions due to knowledge. He used the knowledge and he was also free from desire. So these two things are again being talked here. So this was shloka number 24. Then shloka number 25, he is saying, you should build the atma vritti. Now you stop doing the things which will give you the anatma vrittis. Now you have to go and slowly build the atma vrittis. So he is saying, shanehi, very gradually. Uparamet. So 2 times he is saying, gradually, shanehi, uparamet. He will attain peace. Buddhya dhriti grihitaya. Buddhya, by the intellect, dhriti grihitaya. Determination of the resolve. He was having the determination of the resolve according to the scriptures. When you keep hearing things again and again, Like they say the dosa batter, how it becomes nice is again and again you have to keep grinding. So again and again, by hearing, by exposing yourself to these teachings, one day it will not come, but slowly, 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 the batter is made and then it will stick with you. So try to expose yourself as much as possible to the scriptures. And then buddhya dhriti grihitaya. So it has been absorbed by this mind, and he is through the determination and resolve. He is there. Atma samstam manah kritva. Atma samstam. He's fixed his mind on the Atma, the thoughts about the Atma, the qualities of the Atma. Manah kritva, the having made his mind, na kinchit api chintayet. So he does not think about anything else. He just focuses on the qualities of the Atma. How is he? I am Purna Swarupam. So like that, he is focused on the qualities. So how to gradually, Shanaihi says, how to gradually move one step at a time is first remove the attachment from the objects. First step, things outside you. First, that itself is very hard. That is the first step, preliminary step. Second step is you remove your attachment to the body. Meaning what? Too much caring for the body. It is too hot, it is too cold. If something comes to you also, small ailments, don't bother too much, but try to be detached from the body. Then to your senses, you should leave like attachment to all those things, to your senses. What is coming? Oh, very good taste is there. I will eat only tasty food. Be in this temperature. If it is above this degree or less than this degree, then I'm uncomfortable. Like that, little bit slowly build up that resistance to it. And then, okay, let it be. It's too hot. Let it be. It's too cold. Let it be. Like that, little bit slowly you should try to ignore those things. Then you should they remove the attachment to the mind. My mind is sorrowful today. Okay, I'm getting attached to it. I'm depressed. You can think a little bit detached from the mind. Today, the mind decided to be sorrowful. Okay, I will detach myself. Tomorrow, it will be fine. Like that, you should ignore the mind also. And then slowly remove your attachment from the intelligence, the buddhi, panchakoshas we talked about, right? Slowly, you will remove our attachment from one kosha. Tannamaya, pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya, then anandamaya. Finally, then you will withdraw yourself and you will be able to get this Atma Vrittis. So that is why he said Shanaihi. And he says don't expect immediate control of the mind. It will not happen. It will only happen gradually. And you have to try various ways to do it. Self-control, being exposed to the scriptures. A person said it is like eye test. Where they will go and they will put one thing. Is it okay? Not okay. Is it okay? Not okay. Like that, they will keep testing. Like that, we have to keep being exposed to everything. One point will say, yes, I can see now. So like that, only the vision will come after a lot of process. We have to be patient and it will happen only gradually, he's saying. It will not happen in one instant. Okay, so that was 24 and 25. I'll read the meanings. So shloka number 24. Completely renouncing all the desires arising from the thoughts of the world, one should restrain the senses from all sides with the mind. Shloka number 25. Slowly and steadily, with conviction in the intellect, the mind will become fixed in the Atma alone and will think of nothing else. Now 26. He will talk about the properties of the mind in this. Yato nischarati manaschanchalamassthiram tatastato niyam yaitat atmanyeva vashannayet. Tatastato, second line, tatastato niyam yaitat, half the, then atmanyeva vasham nayet. He said that first there will be the anatma vritti, where we are thinking about everything other than the atma. Where do we think about the qualities of the atma in the day? Never. So first it will be full of the anatma vritti. Then you hear about these teachings and all, then slowly you try to build these atma vrittis. But the mind will always keep flickering from this anatma vritti to atma vritti. So it will keep going back and forth. It will go for everybody. So two properties of the mind he will tell here, chanchalam and asthiram. Chanchalam is it will be very restless. When you sit in the meditation only, it will give you a big to-do list and say, okay, this has to be done, that has to be done. All those things it will be running after. The mind will just produce those thoughts. That is natural for everybody. So that Krishna wants us to know that it is natural. So don't say that I cannot meditate. It is the quality of the mind. Chanchalam. And astiram, it is very unsteady. You want to do it. Desperately you want to focus on this mantra, but it will not. It will be very unsteady. It will keep going back and forth. So the two qualities of the mind he is describing here. So he says, yataha nischarati. Whenever and wherever nischarati is wanders. He's talking about the mind. Manaha chanchalam astiram. Manaha, the mind, is chanchalam, is very restless, and astiram, it is unsteady. Therefore, we should accept the mind as it is. It is like this for everybody, not just for me. So it is okay. I have to train it. That is the practice. And tataha niyam yaitat. So tataha, from there, niyama, do the restraint. Restrain it, bring it back. That is your job, he's saying. Atmani eva vasham nayet. So bring it under the control. You have to bring it on the thoughts of the Atma, he's saying here. So if you have the same kind of thoughts, it is called the Sajatiya Vritti. The similar thought pattern will come. Two ohms we are thinking together, both the same thoughts have come. Then it will go to some other place. It will say, okay, today I have to go here. So a dissimilar thought will come. That is called the Vijatiya Vritti. Then again, we try to bring it back to the similar thought patterns of the focus of the meditation. So it is the back and forth between these vrittis or the thought waves. So general translation is, whenever and wherever the restless and unsteady mind wanders, one should bring it back and continuously focus on the Atma. So shloka number 27. Prashantamanasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutamakalmasham. So here in shlokas 27 to 32, he is going to talk about the Dhyana Palan. Dhyana Palan was what? We talked about the fruits, right? How that person will conduct himself. So many shlokas we have seen. What were those shlokas? 9 shlokas, where he talked about the equanimity. Ditatmanaf prashantasya, where he talked about the equanimity in circumstances. That was shloka number 7. And then shloka number 8, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma. There he talked about the equanimity in things. And then shloka number 9, Suhrun Mitrar Yudasina. That shloka he talked about the equanimity in people. That was a Dhyana Palam, he said. Then shloka number 15, he said, Yunjanyevam Sadatmanam Yogi Niyatamanasah. There he talked about 2 Dhyana Palams, which was Shantim Nirvana Paramam. So he talked about peace and liberation as the fruits of the Dhyana. So shloka number 15. And shloka number 20, what did he say? We saw those set of shlokas where we said was the Dhyana Palams. Shloka number 20, Yatro Paramate Chittam. There he talked about the full peace of mind and the contentment of mind. The Chitta Uparamaha and the Atma Tripti. 2 qualities he gave in shloka number 20. Shloka number 21, Sukhamatyantikam Yattat, that shloka, he talked about the Atyantikam Sukham, which was unlimitless happiness, and Tattvanishta, not deviating from the truth. So 21. Then 22, he talked about Yam Labdhva Chaparam Labam. In the shloka, he talked about the Niradishaya Labam, which was nothing else needs to be attained. And the next quality in that same shloka, he said, Dukkhena Avichalana, that is not being moved even by the greatest sorrow. And then shloka number 23, Tam Vidya Dukkha Samyoga Viyogam. There he said that 7th quality was the Dukkha Samyoga Viyoga, which was the removal from the union of misery. So there all he has talked about the palams. Now 27 to 32, he is going to talk further about the Dhyana Palams. So these are all Dhyana Pala slokas. And also he is going to talk about the person who has obtained the Dhyanapala, how he is. We know that the mind is under the spell of the three gunas, right? The sattva is having the knowledge, the peace, and the clarity. The rajas is like the person and activity, having desire, having extrovertedness, that is rajas. And tamas is inactivity, ignorance, and delusion. To do dhyanam, we need to be in sattva guna. If you are a very lazy person, you cannot do dhyana. You will not even make up your mind to sit. And if you are in rajas also, you cannot do dhyana because your mind will be very active. Your body is very active as well. So you cannot sit in one place. So then for them also, dhyana is not possible. To do dhyanam, you must be in sattva guna. You have to cultivate yourself. That when move from tamas to rajas, and from rajas, from lot of activity, you have to again move back to inactivity, but not kind of lazy inactivity, kind of very peaceful inactivity. That you are doing dhyana for a purpose to elevate yourself in spirituality. That kind of an inactivity. But the one who has obtained the liberation, he has crossed sattva guna also. He's become a gunatita. Chapter 14, we will see. Just like he talked about in 2, he talked about the sthita prajna lakshanam. The gunatita lakshanam will come in 40, where he'll describe the qualities, that how the person behaves. The same samaloshtasma kanchanaha will come. He regards everything as equal. Same thing will be repeated there. Okay. Prashanta manasam hi yena. So the one who is having the prashanta manasam, he is having a peaceful mind. He is not in inactivity, laziness. He is not in activity. I have to do this, I have to do that. He is having a peaceful mind. So this person is having the sattva guna. The person who is meditating will have the sattva guna. Jnani will not be bound by even the sattva guna. That will come later. But the person who is doing the dhyana will have the sattva guna. And yoginam sukham uttama. So yoginam, so this yogi will have the sukham uttama. That is, the highest bliss will come to him, he says. It is not even saying that he will get it. The bliss itself will come to him, he is saying. Yoginam sukham uttamam. What kind of bliss is he experiencing? 3 kinds of happiness are there. So when we see people in this world, we say, okay, they are enjoying themselves, they are happy. Why should I be confined to this Gita class 2 hours? I am sitting here. What kind of happiness is this? Other person who is going somewhere, enjoying, they are also getting happiness, right? Why should I sit here and do this? The answer is, there are like 3 types of sukhas, they will say. That Vishaya Sukham, what you get is the Adhama Sukham, which means that it is a very lower level of happiness. It is shallow. It will not last for long. It will not give you the kind of peace and contentment you want. And then you have one more level of Sukham, which is the Dharma Sukham, which is a Madhyama Sukham, which is a medium range, where you are doing good things. Because of that, you are getting punya. Because of that, you are getting happiness. You are being good to people, you are serving, all those things are good qualities. But you are getting medium range sukha there. Then this Atma Sukham is Uttama Sukha, is the highest range, where you will get the maximum benefit and the contentment. So that is the range of happiness is there. Upaiti Shanta Rajasa. So here he is talking about the removal of the Rajoguna. Upaiti Shanta Rajasa means, Upaiti means attains, Shanta Rajasam, whose passions are subdued. Because Rajas, we said, is the nature of passion. So that is removed. So he is removed from the Rajoguna. And Brahma Bhuta. So he is endowed with the realization of the Brahman. Akalmasham. Akalmasham means he is removed from the sin. Removed from sin means he is saying that the Tamoguna is removed. So Tamoguna is the nature of delusion, where you will tend to do things which are wrong. So that is removed for this person. So the general translation is, great happiness comes to the yogi whose mind is calm, whose passions are subdued, who is without sin, and who is endowed with the realization of the Atma. Shloka number 28. Yunjannevam sadatmanam. Yunjannevam sadatmanam. Yogi vigata kalmashaha. Sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. So here the second line we will break it. Sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. this shloka again is talking about the dhyana phalam. So here he is talking about the atyantikam sukham, where it is the highest level of happiness. So he is saying here that uniting himself with the dhyanam always, this yogi is removed from the impurities of the mind. Yunjan evam sada atmanam. Yunjan evam, uniting himself in dhyana, in the meditation of the atman, evam, thus sada, always, atmanam, on the self. Yogi vigata kalmashaha. So the yogi is freed from the kalmashas or the sins. Sukhena brahma samsparsham. Sukhena, so easily brahma samsparsham. He realizes the supreme. Sparsham means to touch basically, but realizes, that's the meaning here. Atyantam sukham ashnute. Atyantam means the highest level of happiness is there for him. And then sukham ashnute. So he gets this peace. When you do worship, when you do meditation, all those things, one time only you will keep. Okay, I will concentrate, I will focus, then everything gone. But the person should be constantly in this thought process, not just inside the puja room or during meditation. Like that's why the upasana, where you focus in meditation on the god or the deity, will be limited, because after that you have to continue it. People do continue seeing God in everything. If you continue only, it is effective. Doing one side puja, one side meditation, then living another lifestyle outside is not the right thing. So then only this person will get the realization. The Jnani sees the God in everything and everyone, the Brahman in everything. So he is never separated from the truth. The self-control yogi, thus uniting his self with Atman, becomes free from material contamination and being in contact, constant touch with the Supreme, achieves the highest state of perfect happiness. 29 to 32 are very important shlokas. Sarva bhutasthamaatmanam sarva bhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. So he's talking about the Atma Darshanam in shloka number 29, and he will talk about the Ishvara Darshanam in shloka number 30. That means he will talk about Atma and he will just substitute Atma to Ishvara in the next shloka. This is a continuation of what we saw previously. We want people to see God in everything and everyone in the lifestyle. It is not confined. Spirituality is not just like for some time or in a particular place. It has to be a lifestyle. It talks about how the Jnani will see the world. So the reference is given of the Ishopanishad. The first mantra will be Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha magridha kasya svidhanam. Like that it is said in the Ishopanishad. Starting line, Ishavasyam idam sarvam. That is, all this, whatsoever moves in this universe and those that move not, is covered, indwelt or pervaded or enveloped or clothed, all the words they have used, by the Lord. Everything is pervaded. Ishavasyam, that is, it's the pervasion of God or the Brahman. And that renounced, enjoy. Do not covet anybody's wealth. Okay, so what they mean here is, the entire world is enveloped, covered by the Supreme Being. Whatever this world be, moving or non-moving, living or otherwise. The second part of this mantra is a conclusion drawn from this vision. Live a happy life in this world. Enjoy your existence. Do not suffer. Life is not intended to be in misery. We cannot expect God to have created a hell for us. Compassionate is He. It should be lived and not got on as drudgery. Tena tyaktena bhunjita, that renounce, not in the way of enjoyment as we understand, like live your life. You have only one life. Not like that. Tena bhunjitaha, they have clarified. By renunciation, affected in the light of consciousness of the indwelling presence of God, enjoy this world. Complicated meaning, what does it say is just background you should keep God. In all activities you should keep God. That way you enjoy this world. And by the renunciation affected in the light of all pervading nature of God, you live a life of happiness. Thinking that God is everywhere, be happy. So before we go into the shloka itself, we will have to understand some things. Suppose there are two pots. To understand it, we will go through an example. So there are two pots. One is the teacher pot and one is the disciple pot. Teacher pot tells the disciple pot, see, now you are thinking yourself as a pot, but actually you know what? You are clay. Like that, he tells the disciple. Now the disciple pot understands, now I am clay. That wisdom he got. When that wisdom he got, that I am clay, what he says is, as clay, I pervade all the pots. All the pots are made of clay. Okay, that's the first statement. I pervade all the pots because I am clay. And then the second statement he will make is, because I am clay, all the pots are projected as names and forms. Clay exists as in different sizes and shapes and colors as pots. It is only clay. So these are the two statements that he is going to say here. Similar examples will be given, ocean and the waves. So the wave is nothing but the water itself. Once it knows it's the water, I pervade all the waves because I am water. The water pervades all the waves. In the water only exist the waves as just mere different shapes. It is water only. Similar examples of that of the jewelry. Gold pervades all jewelry. Whether it be a necklace, the bangle, it is just displayed as different objects. That is what is happening with us also. We are inherently the Atma or the Brahman, but we exist in different shapes and the forms. But we've understood, if somebody just sees the necklace or the ring and doesn't understand it's gold, then we say the person is foolish. Like that, we are carrying on without understanding our real nature, which is that of the Atma and the Brahman. So he's saying here, Sarva Bhutastam. So situated in all living beings, Atmana, this is the self. Situation in all the beings is the self alone. Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani. All the living beings are actually a projection in the self only. Because if the self pervades everything, then all that which is appearing in the external world is just a projection in the self. It is just names and forms. Ikshate yoga yukta atma. So ikshate, so he sees a yoga yukta atma, whose mind is situated in the truth. Sarvatra samadarshanaha, because he knows that it is the pervasion of this Brahman or this Atma, he sees everything equally. The pervasion is the Brahman. It is everywhere and everything exists in the Brahman as names and forms. Those are the two main points. What is the meaning here is the true yogis uniting their mind with the Brahman see with equal eye all living beings in himself and himself in all the living beings.